Okay, it's 10:30, so we're going to start the meeting, and I'd like to say good morning and welcome to this licensing subcommittee hearing. Present we have myself, Councillor Mike Bland, Chair of the panel, along with Councillors Mellish and Old and Councillor Andrew Harvey, who is our reserve. Also in attendance are Brian E. Williamson, Licensing Officer, Peter Key, Legal Advisor, and Lauren Wheeler, Democratic Services Officer. Also in attendance is Vicky Hayter, who is part of the Council's legal team and is observing this morning's meeting, including observing when we retire to consider the application. Just some housekeeping. There is no fire alarm planned for today, so should the alarm sound, please leave via the nearest available emergency exit, which is the two doors at the back, straight out that way, or the door over to my left through the glass entrance. For guidance on making your own recordings, please see the notices in the agenda for this meeting. I would like to remind everyone present that this meeting is being filmed and made available to view in live and archive form via the Council's website. If you are seated in the public gallery, it is possible that the cameras may capture your image. If you wish to avoid being filmed, it is recommended you make a member of staff aware who can direct you where to sit. So we'll start the agenda with apologies for absence. Lauren, do we have any apologies?
No apologies, Chair.
Okay. Secondly, Lauren, do we have any substitutes?
None today, Chair.
Okay. Thirdly, declaration of interests. Do we have any declaration of interests received in advance?
We've had none in advance, Chair.
Are there any further declarations? No further declarations. At this point, I think our reserve councillor may leave if he wishes to.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, item 4 is minutes of the meetings held on 24th of September and 1st of October 2025. I'm going to ask whether we agree the minutes at these meetings held on 24th of September and 1st of October as a true record. Do we agree?
I agree.
Agree?
Chair, if I may.
Yeah.
I was present.
So,
I was present on the 1st of October, so I can agree those as a true record. On the 24th of September, I was absent, so I can say they're a record, but not a true record. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I think the panel has accepted these as true records of the meetings on 24th of September and 1st of October, and I accept the explanation that Councillor Old has given in respect of himself. The item number 5 is about the order of business, which is actually on page 15 of the agenda, and we'll be following that order. So straight on then to the main item, which is on number 6, under the Licensing Act 2003. This is an application for a premises licence for Canterbury Wine Mart, 18 St Dunstan Street, Canterbury, CT2 8A. I'd like to confirm that in addition to the panel and Canterbury City Council staff, the following people are entitled to speak at the hearing. Firstly, the applicant, Rajendran Ravichandran, hope I've pronounced that correctly, of Canterbury Wine Mart, and also the agent, Siva Shankar Puthrasingham. Yes? Okay. In addition, there are the responsible authorities from Kent Police. We have PC Danielle Rolfe, and from the Canterbury City Council Senior Licensing Enforcement Officer, Diana Attenborough. No other persons are entitled to speak, as no representations from other persons have been submitted. So we will follow the business on page 15. I'm going to ask, first of all, the licensing officer, Brian O. Williamson, to introduce the application. After that, we'll hear from the applicant, and after that, we'll hear from the responsible authorities. The subcommittee may ask of people questions after each presentation. So, Brian, as licensing officer, can you introduce the application, please?
Thank you, Chair. As you've already mentioned, the application is to vary an existing premises licence under the Licensing Act 2003. The licence is for Canterbury Wine Mart, as you've already said, 18 St Dunstan Street in Canterbury. Just to explain that the subcommittee members have conducted a site visit earlier this morning, and the agenda has been prepared and published in accordance with the relevant legislation and the Council's constitution. So the application itself is to apply to vary the licence to remove late night refreshment, to extend the opening times to be 24 hours a day, and to extend the hours for supply of alcohol to be 24 hours off sales only. The current licence has hours open to the public Monday to Saturday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next morning, and Sunday, 7 a.m. to midnight. And as I mentioned, this will be changed, if approved, to Monday to Sunday, 24 hours a day. So just to note that the off sales between on Monday to Saturday, the off sales will be delivery only from Sunday night from midnight to Monday 6:30 a.m. Tuesday to Saturday will be 0100 to 6:30 a.m. the following day. So off sales will be delivery only, and Sunday 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. off sales will be delivery only. So it's slightly unusual. The application primarily focuses on the fact that the premises would like to offer an alcohol delivery service throughout the night. The premises would remain open for general sales 24 hours a day, but there would be no alcohol sales at the shop between the hours of midnight to 6:30 a.m. Monday. And I won't mention them all again. The only sales during these hours would be via delivery apps such as Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Just Eat, where the alcohol is delivered directly to the customer. And there are some conditions proposed in the application to vary that would manage those arrangements. So just to highlight that the application to vary the licence includes hours that will be outside of our core hours that are mentioned in section 11 of the licensing policy. That is all outlined within the report. So also to note is that the planning legislation is obviously separate to licensing, and that won't come into account today. So obviously the applicant is minded to check that there's no planning restrictions. We're not aware of any ourselves. So the application was advertised in accordance with the legislation. The blue notice and the newspaper advert can be seen at Appendix B. The reason for the hearing, objections were received from Kent Police and Licensing Enforcement, and they can be seen at Appendix C. There were no objections received from other persons. The licensing subcommittee is required to evaluate each representation in accordance with the licensing objectives, i.e. does the relevant representation address an adverse or a positive impact on the licensing objectives. It's worth noting that as an application to vary an existing premises licence, only the matters applied for within the variation can be conditioned or amended. Anything already granted cannot be changed at this hearing. So the licensing subcommittee must have regard to the application, the Council's statement of licensing policy, the guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, any relevant case law referred to and any relevant representations. Also, Article 6B of the European Convention on Human Rights, Section 17 of the Crime and Disorder Act 1998, and take such of the following steps as it considers necessary for the promotion of the licensing objectives. So the options are to grant the application with additional or amended times, conditions, etc., or to reject the application. And just as a reminder, the licensing objectives are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and protection of children from harm. And there are some appendices, which you'll see at the end of the report. And that's it from me, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to ask Mr. Key if there's any observations as to process you'd like to make at this point. Okay, thank you. Right, okay, this is the opportunity for the applicant and his agent to make your application. So I hand over to you.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Siva Shankar from the agent representing Mr. Ravichandran. Good morning, all. It's nice to see you after, I think I'm here after about 8 years. I think last time I was here 2017. As your officer explained, this is a slightly complicated variation, so bear with me. I'm going to try and explain as much as possible so that everybody could understand. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, can you put the miraphone a bit
Sorry.
closer? So,
Is that better, sir?
okay, I
Thank you.
think that's better.
So if you look at the page 38, I think, page 38 of the agenda papers, which displays the current license, premises license of the premises. So it got two activities authorized currently at the premises. One is late night refreshment indoors and the sale of alcohol off the premises. Now, the first part of the variation is to remove the late night refreshment part. So if this application is granted, sir, we do not want any more late night refreshment. We haven't been using it and we will not be using it anymore. So that part will be taken out. From the sale of alcohol, there is no changes to the off-license part. When I say off-license, this is where the difficulty come to in explaining. So this is where people able to come into the shop to buy alcohol, sale of alcohol to people who come into the shop. That hours are 6:30 in the morning to 1 o'clock from Monday to Saturday, and 6 o'clock to midnight on Sundays. There is no change. That is as it is exactly. So what we are seeking in this variation is to have, one is to open the premises without the sale of alcohol after 1 o'clock on Monday to Saturday and after midnight on Sundays. So people can just come into the premises to buy any general grocery items, not alcohol. And also allow us to sell alcohol only via delivery right through the night. So during the day when we sell off license, plus the rest of the night. So 24 hours to be able to sell delivery only. So on a Monday, we just as an example to explain that. So on a Monday, we open the shop, say from 6:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll be able to sell alcohol to people who come into the shop. Plus, we'll be able to do deliveries. And after 1 o'clock, all the alcohol part will be closed, covered up. No alcohol sale will happen after 1 o'clock on a Monday night. But we will continue to take orders through the apps by Deliveroo or Uber or Just Eat. And we will deliver alcohol right through the night. And that is the application, sir. So in a simple way, and people will be able to still come into the premises to buy cigarettes or other products that we sell. We have been into the premises. We sell a wide range of products in the shop. So they will be able to buy all of that apart from alcohol. And all the alcohol part will be blocked for people to enter. So if I explain that how we are planning to do is, if you go into the shop, and you have on the left side, you have the counter, and then you go through the counter and into the first, between the two shelves, you go, that's where all the main alcohol are, and the rest of the alcohol is behind the shelf. So all that alcohol, all that shelves will be covered up. You can't even see the alcohol, fully covered up at 1 o'clock. Shutters will be down. It'll be locked, so nobody can open them. And we will also block the two areas entering into that corridor, so people cannot even go in there after 1 o'clock. People can only walk around in the shop in the general area where the rest of the products are there. And then all the shutters will come back in the morning at 6:30 when we are able to sell alcohol to people who come into the premises. So that's the way we will operate. And obviously, if we minded to grant this application, we will not be able to start doing opening the shop after these hours until we have provided the shutters and seen, and the local authority officers have come and they have seen that we have installed them before we are able to open them. So that's our application, sir. Obviously, unfortunately, I couldn't convince the police and the licensing authority that there is no issues with these premises. We have a couple of objections. A couple of things I just want to talk about these objections before I go for questions. We have two applications. The objections also talks about the history of where we are. And there are two dates they have given us. We have tried to take this application and was refused, one in 2015 and one in 2017. 2017 is the correct, that the panel didn't give us the application at the time, they refused the application. But in 2015, the application was still, that is when we got the 1 o'clock. So the panel granted the 1 o'clock license to us, along with, we had to remove all the high strength alcohol at 12 o'clock, had to be removed from the shelves. So that has been going on since 2015. This 1 o'clock license came in 2015, and we've been operating with that since till now. One of the main reasons police have given in their objection that there may be a conflict if we allow people to come into the shop after 1 o'clock, that they may want to ask for alcohol where we have not selling alcohol, and that might create some conflict. As you know, sir, currently we sell all strength beers right up till midnight. And at midnight, we take away above certain strength according to the condition we don't allow. So if somebody come here at the moment, they were able to buy beers at 12 o'clock, they could have bought something at 11:30, but if they come after 12, they won't be able to buy it. So we already have been used to telling people that we don't have permission to sell alcohol, certain type of beers after midnight, because that is our license conditions. And most of our customers know what is expected after midnight, that they won't be able to get those high strength beers. And it is just a matter of we explaining to the people, especially first thing is after midnight, they won't be able to see any alcohol that is displayed. It will be all covered. So immediately they will know there is no alcohol for display for us to buy. That itself will tell them that, there is no alcohol for sale. And even if they did ask, can we get alcohol, we can explain to them this is if they need alcohol, they need to go home, they need to order alcohol for delivery at their residence. So we don't see that is going to cause any issues for us, because as I say, we've been operating with this particular beer condition since 2015 to date with no issues at all. So that's our application, sir. If there is any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the point at which the panel can ask some questions, and I'll kick off and then ask my colleagues if they've got some questions, and after that, responsible authorities can ask some questions of you as well. Okay, that's questions in respect of your submission at this point. Okay, so the first question I've got is you've said basically you would intend to shutter the alcohol from view Having gone into the shop this morning, I noticed you got some chill cabinets as well, right opposite the counter. Is that going to be shuttered? You've got buzz bombs and all sorts
Yes,
of
sir.
stuff. in there.
Currently, those chill cabinets got like a plastic screens on them. We can pull them down, but we are going to change them all to proper metal shutters.
Okay.
So because we don't want them, we would like electric ones so that they just shut electrically and then stay shut until you open in the next morning. If we can't get electric shutters to fit in there, then we will padlock them so that they will be padlocked at night, so nobody can open them. And also they are going to be linked shutters, so but it will be covered so that you can't see through the shutters what is behind the shutters. So all that area right up to behind the counter, or wherever alcohol is, all that alcohol will be fully covered and shut and locked.
Okay, so basically, people after 1 o'clock wouldn't be able to see the alcohol. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
Or they will not be able to enter into that corridor part where alcohol is there in both shelves. So when you turn, so they won't be able to go through turn left from the counter and go into that corridor part. That will be blocked off. Nobody will be able to go in there.
Okay. Just for my own clarification, just remind me, you're still going to be selling other products up until what point? Up to 1 o'clock. Okay, but you're going to be shuttering the alcohol off at. Okay. So the shop won't be open to the public after 1 o'clock, is that what you're saying?
Sorry. So yes, so after 1 o'clock, the shop will be still open right through the night until next morning to sell other products, whatever other products that we
So
sell.
people can go into the shop to buy other products.
To purchase either cigarettes or we sell other soft drinks.
Okay.
We sell, grocery items. We sell grocery items, breakfast cereals, that kind of thing.
Okay. You've mentioned that you want to use delivery services for the sale of alcohol after 1 o'clock for the rest of the night, as it were. And some particular delivery companies have been mentioned. I think in your application you were saying you would only allow electric cycles. Is that correct?
So the reason that we said that we if generally after 11 o'clock, it's probably pretty quiet. I mean, I know it's a busy road, but still it might be reasonably quiet, especially get later and later. And some of these scooters are noisy when they come, and when they start up, it can disturb people. So mainly for that reasons, that because I have done quite a number of these type of application in other boroughs, where one of the things that the residents have raised is that some of these scooters do make a noise that wakes them up. Yes. And they have requested that can we have electric scooters or electric bikes only allowed after a particular time. And we actually have agreements with these companies, Uber and Deliveroo and Just Eat, where they will only send pickup drivers who have these electric scooters or either electric vehicles. So that you wouldn't get the normal petrol vehicles coming in after a particular time. So our plan is that when we are doing deliveries daytime, we will have any vehicle can come and collect up to 11 p.m. And after 11 p.m., we will encourage we would like to have only electric vehicles to come to collect any orders. Thereby, the noise nuisance is really reduced.
So if an electric scooter was to come to the shop after 1 o'clock, say 2:30 in the morning, where would the delivery rider park their scooter?
Outside the shop, we can park. So there is there is a walkway for the people, and then there's the front part is for the shop area. Shop is belong to the shop, and they can actually park at that area before they take away. And we are not expecting multiple scooters to come. I mean, you know, as we are just starting this business,
Yeah,
we get one at a time. Even that will be very happy if it happens. So we are not expecting more than a scooter at one point. And most of the time, by the time they come, we'll be ready with the delivery to be given to them. So it's just a matter of they pull up, take the alcohol and drive away.
I'm just trying to picture where you're saying the scooter would be parked. I'm struggling.
We are
with it.
currently thinking that
You're not talking about round the corner, because you're basically on a corner, aren't you?
we are in the corner. So, and we also have a rear garden area there
You
with,
have
with
a rear
access.
garden area.
So yeah, so if we get busy, they will be able to park at the back.
So some would be parking in the back.
We will be able to.
Okay. And how close is the parking in the back to the next resident?
Sorry, sir?
How close is the parking at the back to residential accommodation down that street?
So there are houses after the garden, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they are electric, hopefully they won't be noisy vehicles.
Okay. But do you envisage that these scooters might actually park on the roadway?
No, sir, we will not allow them.
Okay. Okay, you're talking about delivering through a hatch or something. I need to understand how that's going to work.
We are not planning to do a hatch.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons that we would like to have the shop open after hours, but not for alcohol sale for customers, only for delivery drivers to come and collect, plus customers to get the other products. So that they can come into the shop and they collect their alcohol and they can go. Because they generally come in their branded bags, they give us where we can pack the alcohol. All these companies provide us bags, separate bags for the alcohol to be sealed in, because they go to the customers in a sealed bag.
Okay, so I'm just trying to picture how it might happen.
Sure.
Because the picturing of it is important in terms of the licensing objectives.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just trying to picture a delivery driver comes through the front door of the shop,
Yeah,
having pre-booked
the product of alcohol.
order.
Yeah.
And your sales assistant will already have that order ready to give that person. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct, sir. So normally the app, we will get the notification through the app, and we will prepare according to which company has ordered. They would have provided us sealed bags, and we will put the alcohol in there, seal it. So when the delivery driver comes, that sealed bag will be given to him, and he will put it in his sealed bag and drive away to the premises.
And that will be handed over the counter, presumably.
Yes, count over the counter.
Okay. How often do you think the otherwise locked alcohol counters are going to have to be opened during the course of the evening?
What we have, because it is we decide what is going to be on the app for people to purchase.
Yeah.
So we can make sure that most of the products are actually from our storeroom rather than from those behind the locked. We wouldn't want to open them frequently, unless otherwise an odd product that is run out in the storeroom. That's the only time that we may have to access that. So what we advertise on these app pages will be, generally we will make sure that they are available in our storeroom. So residents, other customers wouldn't see where these alcohol is being kept and where they are coming from. So we don't need to open this area, these locked cupboards, locked cabinets.
So you'll have two members of staff on all through the night,
Yes,
one of whom will be behind the counter, the other of whom will be going to collect these.
That is correct, sir.
Right. And they'll be collecting those from your storage area. At
From
back
the
of
storage
shop.
area.
Okay. So there won't be opening of the locked.
Sorry, sir?
There won't be any opening of the locked.
No, that's
counters.
that's not what we want to do.
Okay. All right. In terms, going back to the issue about where these cycles are going to be parked, I mean, you're saying that you're hoping you get everybody once at a time. I mean, we all have kind of organisational hopes of that sort of thing, but what happens if you get half a dozen drivers turning up at the same time?
I mean, if we are that busy, I think we are. We were very successful in in our advertisement. I mean, obviously, if there are more than one driver or a group, if we happen to be lucky to have them, we probably will have them all at the back garden parked. And then we'll call them as because we can access the back garden through the rear of the shop as well. So they don't need to come front at all
So the drivers will go around the back of the shop.
or on the back of the shop, and they can be delivered alcohol at the back of the shop.
Okay. All right. And that's quite close to the nearest residential neighbours.
I mean, behind after the garden area, there are neighbours on the other side. Yes.
All right. Okay. I think I've finished my questions for the moment. I'll ask my colleagues.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Just again on the display of alcohol products. We were in the shop today, and we could see where the screening would come down. Most of it, you've got product on the top shelves.
Yes.
And also behind the counter, you've got the spirits.
Yes.
So again, are you going to install shutters? Sorry, thank you. From the ceiling down.
It will be ceiling to floor.
Display?
Ceiling to floor.
And are you going to clear
Sorry, sir.
Are you going to clear every day the spirits from behind the counter, or
No. There will be shutters coming
There'll be
behind the
shutters
counter.
there as
It will
well.
go right
Okay.
through that wall will be from ceiling to.
Thank you. If somebody comes into the shop to buy groceries, 2:00 in the morning, which is very good, a very convenient thing to do, can they also order alcohol to be delivered to their premises?
They can't order alcohol.
So it'd only be you will
I
advertise.
mean, they can order, sir. Because they will have their phones with them, and through the phone they can, while in the shop they can order. But the alcohol will be delivered at their house.
Yes, so it's only through the app that you will take orders.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Only
okay.
through app.
And you will, as you just said, you will only have a limited number, as it were, of products on that
We will display on the
app. Okay. Would you also be limiting the amount that you would deliver? For instance, 6 bottles of whiskey.
Or how much
in
they
one
order.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. Whether one would do that, I don't know, but it depends on the nature. It would depend on the nature of the party that's been ordered for. Yeah, and it may well come to
It's something that I haven't given thought to because I haven't seen any apps limiting.
Right.
I know they all have a minimum order.
Yeah.
Minimum order size.
Yes,
but
of course.
I haven't
of course.
seen.
To make it worthwhile. Yes,
Yeah, you can't just order one can of beer or something.
But you can see where I'm coming from. In
Yeah,
terms
yes,
of,
certainly,
is that what we run into habit that you become a focal point for the easy access of excessive alcohol.
I understand, but if somebody go to a supermarket and if they want to buy 2 crates of beer, supermarket will sell them.
So within that sort of framework, yeah.
So, I mean, if it is beer, a crate of beer, I don't think
No.
that's an issue. It's something that we have to think of. I mean, if you think that that's something that you want us to look into it, we can look into it. I mean, generally it is spirits that we want to limit.
I think speaking for other councillors, but my concern is the provision of alcohol, which is somehow out of your control in some ways, but it's the provision of alcohol to premises and to sites. For instance, it might be Riverside, the student accommodations across Riverside, where it's going to be party land for a lot of the time, and that you are providing alcohol to young people. And it could be in excessive amounts. That's
Yeah, I mean,
and how do you monitor where you're delivering?
I understand, sir. But currently, I mean, when we made the application, just on Uber Eats itself, there were 3 24-hour alcohol delivery service within the Canterbury area I saw, and none of them have any limits on them. So we'll have a relook at it again. But I take your point. So I can, we can see whether is there a particular premises is ordering excessive amount of alcohol, then we can take action. We can limit.
Councillor Old?
Thank you, Chair. Through you, if I could address the officer. If I could address the officer through you. it's a small point perhaps, but is there a condition to say that the delivery has to be to an address?
Yes, councillor, they have proposed.
For that condition, it has to be to a residential address, residential or office address.
That does prevent delivery, for example, to the pavement in front of the shop. So they can't, a customer couldn't turn up, see that there's no sale of alcohol, go onto their phone, deliver and pick it up right outside. They would have to go to a home residential address or an office business address to collect the alcohol.
And you mentioned business address, so this could be a delivery to commercial premises as well.
Technically, yes. I mean, whether that ever occurs in the middle of the night, I don't know, but that's how they've clarified the condition. Obviously, you know, yourselves could amend that if you felt necessary.
Thank you.
Right. I think we've the panel's finished its questions of you for the moment, but this is the opportunity for responsible authorities to ask questions, not put full objection till later, but just to ask questions of your presentation. So I'll ask PC Danny Rolfe from Kent Police to go first.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I've got a couple of questions. You've obviously visited the premises, as have we, on a number of occasions, and it's just really just to highlight the volume of alcohol within that store and how practical and logistically they're going to be able to screen all of that alcohol away from sort of the general public's eye, certainly all the spirits behind the counter and things like that as well. So it's just really to make sure that if this licence were to be granted, that all of those provisions can be put in place to prevent people seeing alcohol available for sale. Just want to make sure that that's something that could be achieved by the business. And there was also something mentioned earlier on by the agent here about the high strength beers and ciders condition that they currently have, that they take that all off of the shelf and hide it away. It's only for the high strength, so that's only for certain alcohol over a certain ABV. It doesn't include all the spirits, so obviously the spirits are all still available to be seen. It's just that that particular condition was around, I think, street drinking when that was initially put on, I believe. Can I just ask why you haven't applied for a 24-hour licence in general rather than splitting it into closing at 1 and then having the delivery service? Is that because you may feel that there's a risk in respect of selling alcohol 24 hours a day?
So I'll answer the first question first. I mean, regarding covering up, it was raised about the number of, I mean, obviously, we have taken an undertaking that before we open the premises after 1 o'clock for people to come in, we will have officers visit and make sure that they are happy with the way that we have installed the shutters. And we will make sure that the police and the licensing authority are invited to see the shutters before we actually start opening the premises after 1 o'clock for members of public. Until the shutters are done, the premises will be closed at 1 o'clock if we are granted this application, and we will do the delivery service with the premises closed at 1. But before people are allowed in to buy the groceries, we will make sure that the officers have visited the premises, seen the shutters have installed and working properly. So if there are any doubts, I'm sure that should give them some peace of mind. As to why we have applied this way, I mean, one is we don't know the demand after 1 o'clock in a 24-hour service, what the demand will be. And also we already have seen within Canterbury itself, there are 24-hour alcohol delivery service. There are the premises are already in there. And we just want to sort of offer the same facility for our customers. You know, if they do want to order at night, at the moment they had to go to somebody else. They might be a daytime customers of ours, but because we don't offer this service later on, they probably have to go to some other premises that is offering this service. And we just want to make sure that all our customers have the full breadth of service that is nowadays people expect.
Thank you. And just one last one then. So just going back to that high strength condition that you currently have on the licence. So just so I'm clear, that will still remain. So you'll have to remove the high-strength lagers, beers and ciders from the shelf by midnight, and then you'll have to cover all the other alcohol up by 1 o'clock.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if this license is granted, then we probably might have a separate shelf for the high strength where that will be, a shutter will come down at 12 o'clock for the high strength areas. So we might be able to do some rearranging of the way that we currently do. But yeah, that condition remain. At 12 o'clock, all the high strength beers will be taken away from the shelves.
Okay, thank you. I've got some things in my presentation, but I'll leave that bit for any other questions.
Okay, thank you for that. It's an opportunity for Diane Attenborough, the Enforcement Officer, to ask questions.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. In your talk about the application and we talk about deliveries, you mentioned hopefully we'll have electric scooters. Can I just ask by what you mean hopefully, and also what you mean by a scooter?
Okay, sorry, I don't know why I said hopefully, because after 11 o'clock, there will be only electric vehicles. We will not have fuel-driven, petrol-driven scooters after 11 p.m. That's an agreement we will sign with all our companies, all the delivery companies. And after 11, it will be only electric vehicles, either electric cars, electric scooters, or electric bikes.
Okay.
Electric scooters means I'm not meaning that the two-wheel stand-up. No, not them. They are not legal to be on the road. This is like actual scooters, but they run on batteries.
Do you mean like what we would call a moped, like a little motorbike?
Correct.
Okay. You mentioned that you would have restricted items on the app. Would that include spirits?
So we will have spirits and beers on the app, and we will decide which spirits we are planning to put it on the app.
Okay. When we met you at the premises and the DPS, you mentioned that there is a demand, but we've seen no evidence from you to say that there is a demand for alcohol to be delivered. Do you have any evidence, and do you know how much demand there is?
I mean, it's people who just, as passing comment, they say that you do delivery service. That's the sort of comment that we get a lot of times, because our customers, they know that other premises are doing, and they have to go to other premises which they don't normally frequent to order alcohol at night. So alcohol as delivery. So that's the comments that they all make. That's what I said. Only when we start doing it, we will actually know what kind of demand is there. But as you know, in alcohol licensing, demand is not a criteria for us to offer something.
Right, okay, thank you. So tell me if I've got this wrong, but when you were putting the application forward, you mentioned that you were, if a person came in to the shop and said, can I have a bottle of vodka or some beer, that you were going to, or the staff would advise customers to go and order it on the app. So you're saying they can order it on the app outside, but they would then have to go home and receive the alcohol, and how would you know that's their home and they've not just gone to stand outside a property, say, round the corner in Turbidge Lane?
Okay, so when they register with the app, because partly this is the contract is between the app company and the customer as well. So when they register on the app company, they have to register their house with the app, so that when they deliver, the delivery driver will deliver to a person in the house, and also he has to make sure that that person is the same person who ordered the alcohol. So they will first look at the ID or the credit card that they used to make the purchase before they leave the alcohol with them, and they won't be able to do that at the payment outside the house. It has to be from the house, within the front door of the house. They have to deliver. If that is not available, the person will bring the alcohol back to the shop. That's the contract that we will have. That's just the general contract. All delivery companies do them.
Okay, thank you. Just one more. Just to clarify, basically, you want this obviously because we are to do with alcohol, a premises licence, but on the app, will they be able to order general groceries as well? And what percentage of alcohol will be on offer to the general groceries?
Yes, they can order whatever products that we put on the app, which will include general groceries as well. We will only provide the at the moment the items that are fast going from the shop only will go on the app first, and then we will see how the demand, what other things people are requesting for. So people can request some products that is not on the alcohol, and they can email the shop directly and see, will you be able to deliver something like that on the app? So then we had to put that on the app for them to order. They won't be able to call the shop to deliver something. That delivery won't happen. They had to go through the app. So there has to be a process of we decide the demand, we decide what the products are that is selling, and then that's up to Mr. Ravichandran to decide what is the best products to be on the app, because all the products in the shop are not going to be on the app.
Okay, I do have one more. So you mentioned that these will be done by Uber Eats or Deliveroo, but through one of the recognised apps. And obviously you've said they will be electric. What will measures be in place that if there's more than a couple of these delivery people that turn up either at the front of the shop or the rear of the shop, and they chat away, you know, then we do find that you get them waiting for their orders and they talk quite loudly, and if it's a vehicle, quite often play music. And how are you going to enforce that it is definitely electric?
Sure. I mean, obviously, I mean, yes, we all have seen in front of McDonald's and big supermarkets, there's a group of bikes waiting all the time, because some of them are not actually there with an order. They are just waiting there, thinking that they are going to get an order in the shop. Obviously, we are completely different to a supermarket or McDonald's. I mean, you know, people are not going to come waiting, our shop waiting, thinking that somebody is going to order through their app, because, you know, it's a small shop. So they are only going to get there if they actually been directed by the app to go there, because there is an order in place. And we don't think, we are pretty sure, we don't think we are going to have multiple scooters coming there to collect order at the same time. We hope there will be multiple scooters coming to collect, but we don't think they are going to be coming at the same time to collect so many orders. I mean, even if it happens, as we are, we will be able to control what's the behavior of the delivery drivers, and if they don't behave in a reasonable manner, we will ban them. We will tell the company, don't send these drivers again.
And can you just clarify how you're going to make sure that they are electric vehicles?
Or so far, whatever agreement that we have had in other premises that I deal with, whenever we have an agreement with the delivery company, they have never messed it up. They always send electric vehicles, and then we can make sure that when we give the stuff away, we can actually see whether they are going out on an electric vehicle or not. And if they are not, then we can ban those vehicles coming back to collect. But the companies are very good. Once you agree with them, electric vehicles only, they only send electric vehicles.
Okay, thank you. No more questions, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. During the course of that, a further question arose in my mind, so I'm going to ask it. I mean, just a clarification. I think you said, and I'm not sure whether I misunderstood you, that if you were not delivering alcohol through this kind of delivery service in those extended hours that you want, there are other providers that do. Are you saying there are other providers that are already delivering alcohol through a delivery service in the Canterbury area in those hours? Because
Yes, sir. 24-hour service is there, yes.
Who are they?
I have
Who are they?
notified your licensing officers of those premises.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yes, so just to confirm that I did check, there is a 24-hour service station called Lakeside in Hersden, and that has a 24-hour alcohol licence, and they offer a delivery service. So whether they get any orders or not, I can't be sure, but they do offer the possibility through the delivery apps for people to order alcohol. The only other evidence that I was able to find was a sort of generic company that said we can deliver anything anywhere. It wasn't clear which shops any deliveries may come from. When I contacted them, they said, well, if somebody ordered something from Canterbury, we would then look to see which shops were offering stuff, and that's where we would send our drivers to pick up the orders. So they don't actually have a premises as such. They use premises that are already open, that are already licensed. So they're more of just a delivery company. So there may be others. There are obviously a few premises that have a 24/7 alcohol license, but they tend to be petrol stations, which are obviously they're sort of set up to open throughout the night already. And they will all have their own different arrangements and conditions in place. So it's certainly not something that's currently common in the area. Most supermarkets that deliver alcohol, for example, would not have a 24/7 licence or be delivering 24/7. But yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but we're not really aware of where else it does happen.
Okay, thank you very much. I just needed some clarification about that. Okay, so where are we at now? This is the point where responsible authorities can... Oh, sorry. Yeah, our legal advisor wants to ask some questions.
Just wanted to clarify a few matters. Are you planning 24-hour delivery?
Yes.
Your application clearly says electric scooters. It does not say electric vehicles. It does not say electric bikes. So anyone who saw the blue notice and checked the application has not been alerted to the fact that you want electric bikes or electric vehicles.
Isn't that on the electric vehicles?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
On the electric vehicles as well?
Your application says scooters.
Okay.
So you have not warned those who looked at the application, you haven't warned those who inspected that it's electric bikes that you mean, or electric cars.
Okay, I mean, the intention is to say that they will be quiet. They won't have a petrol engine to make a noise. I mean, we can restrict to electric scooters, it's not an issue.
But electric scooters are illegal.
Sorry?
Electric scooters,
Yeah.
the tall sort, are illegal on the pavements.
That's not what I meant by saying when I say electric scooter. Electric scooter, these are like, as I explained earlier, these are more, normal scooters, but driven through electric mopeds. Electric scooters cannot be on the road. No company uses that type of electric scooters.
Right, and I think you mentioned at one stage it would have to be electric after 11
Yes.
p.m. Is that in your application?
Well, that's the condition that we have offered, or we are happy to take.
And what hours would the electric be from? 11 p.m. to
11 to next morning,
6:30 or 7?
6:30.
Okay. Then you mentioned pulling shutters down. If I could direct you to the application at page page 33.
Oh, yep.
You say delivery specific conditions, and number 3, when the premises remain open for business after 1 a.m. until they open for the sale of alcohol, all alcoholic beverages shall be placed in cabinets which shall be locked. I just wanted to check that you mean locked, because I understood some of what you said before to be about putting shutters or screens down.
Yeah.
That conceals. But what about actual locking?
We are, well, as I explained earlier, we are planning for electric shutters, so they cannot be lifted. Once they are closed with the electric motor, they cannot be lifted. They are locked in automatically by the motor. And if we can't get the electric shutters, then we will, if it is a manual, then they will be locked with a padlock at the bottom.
Right. Thank you. So that's padlock or electric.
Yeah.
And then the same part says that they would be locked except for the purpose of withdrawing alcohol. This is 3B.
Yeah.
For the purposes of delivery.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or did you say earlier that delivery alcohol would be in a separate place in storage?
Mainly it will be through the storage, but there will be occasions we believe that it can happen that we may have to go to take a stock from the shelves, and I just don't want that to be caught out by that condition.
Okay. Back on page 33, A, the top of the box that you filled in, it says this variation is to include 24-hour delivery of alcohol and to change, not to cancel, to change the late night refreshments to outdoor. And below that, it says the shop will be open 24 hours for general sales and for hot beverages to take away. Isn't hot beverages to take away
That's
late night refreshment?
Sorry, yeah. So that's been changed. I should have written and confirmed that. So late night refreshment is now out of the application. That is not there anymore. We are not doing late night refreshment. 11 o'clock, that's the end of the night.
And then to ask, when one goes into the shop, on the right-hand side, soon after one's gone in, there's a counter, there's a display unit which has a mixture of alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Mm-hmm. Do you know where I mean?
On the right side, you've got mixture of alcohol and not. Okay.
And
yeah.
Will that be entirely screened and locked?
So that cabinet will have to be separated into two cabinets, with one with alcohol and one with non-alcoholic, so that we can close the alcohol side according to what we are offering. So that cabinet has to be changed.
Right, thank you. And then lastly, on the issue of the condition that's at present, that you have to move high-strength beer away from public view, a matter that you've relied on in your arguments, that you do this successfully between midnight and 1 when you close. If you look at the entire wall, the counter wall, right down to the end of the shop, what percentage of shelf space is taken up by that high alcohol?
Very little, right at the end, only we got a few shelves.
Sorry, did you say very little?
How much? Only at the right at the end we have, right? Have you got it all shelves? How many branches?
Yeah, 4, 5.
Yeah, but how many?
5, 6, 7, 8. Tenants, special room, and Kestrel, and
Each of it.
5, 10, 5, 6 cans.
So we do about five to six brands of high strength, and each brand there will be about 5 cans on display. So that's the one that get removed. So it's quite a very small amount.
It's a very small proportion.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair, very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Right, so this is where responsible authorities may place their case. So I'll go back to PC Danny Rolfe from Kent Police.
Thank you, Chair. So Kent Police, as a responsible authority under the Licensing Act of 2003, obviously have made a representation against this variation submitted for Canterbury Wine Mart at 18 St Dunstan Street. To begin, the premises, as already mentioned, it is currently permitted for off sales of alcohol from 06:30 till 01 Monday to Saturday and until midnight on Sundays. Additionally, the premises licensed for late night refreshments indoors, but obviously they've notably asked for this to be removed from the application. Whilst the current licence includes conditions such as staff training, CCTV, restrictions on high-strength sales and a Challenge 21 policy, some of these conditions are a little outdated. We believe that conditions must be strengthened to reflect modern standards and provide clearer evidence of how the premise will uphold the licensing objectives. This application was resubmitted due to initial procedural issues with regards to the blue notices. However, during the previous submission, Kent Police Licensing, myself, along with Canterbury City Council Licensing Officer, met with the applicant and his agent to discuss this application. Although some suggested adjustments have been made, such as locking or screening alcohol, using electric delivery drivers, and ensuring 2 staff are on duty, we do not believe that these measures significantly address the logistical challenges to mitigate the risks associated with this proposed business model. Obviously, let me just remind the committee, as already mentioned, that there were previously 2 applications of a similar nature to operate for 24 hours that were subsequently rejected. The objections then raised at that time by both police and council officers focused on nuisance, street drinking and the broader impact on the locality. These concerns remain valid and arguably more pressing today. Under the current proposal, the shop would remain open but only offer alcohol for delivery. This, in our view, introduces a new risk. Individuals may enter expecting to purchase alcohol in person only to be refused. Obviously, with signage outside perhaps also saying that it's an off licence may lead to further miscommunication. Such misunderstandings could lead to confrontations, arguments and pressure on staff, particularly in an area already affected by antisocial behaviour. A simple poster, perhaps stating no alcohol, is sold is unlikely to prevent such incidents. Even previous suggestions such as operating via a war hatch failed to reassure the previous committees that this risk could be effectively managed. Since the last applications were refused, Canterbury has grown in population, student numbers, tourism and traffic has all increased. These developments only heighten the risks associated with alcohol-related activity. Furthermore, the proposal to use electric bikes, scooters, whatever they may be, for delivery raises practical concerns. In many cities, illegal electric bikes and scooters contribute to antisocial behaviour, and how realistic is it to expect that all delivery riders use UK road legal pedal-assisted bikes or legal bikes? The risk of illegal bikes used is very troubling. This premise sits within the Westgate ward alongside other late night venues and takeaways. Crucially, there are no other off licences in this ward that operate for 24 hours, even under a delivery model. In conclusion, Kent Police remain firmly opposed to the application. The risks outlined, both historical and current, are substantial. We respectfully urge yourselves to consider whether this application is viable to operate for the interest of public safety and the community well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, PC Rolf. So we've got the opportunity to ask you questions, and after that, so does the applicant have the opportunity to ask you questions. So I think we'll start with you, and before we'll deal with that, and then we'll ask the enforcement officer to put her case as well. So the question I've got is just round the corner from this premises is Kirby Lane. Do you have much antisocial behaviour reported in Kirby Lane?
So the local beat officer for the area does highlight that Kirby Lane is a location within our hotspot areas. So Kent Police have hotspot locations, which is where we highlight the higher harm areas. with regards to things like antisocial behaviour, and that locality does suffer on and off from ASB within that location, both daytime and nighttime.
And residents have reported incidents to the police on a fairly regular basis, or what?
We have had residential complaints within Kirby Lane, which obviously sits behind the garden area of the premises, of sort of antisocial behaviour gatherings of people on the corner of the area as well. So yes, it has been reported as an issue in the past.
There are some other residential areas in the vicinity. I mean, it's mostly St Dunstan's is a high street with businesses, but there are some residential units in that high street as well. Do you have reports from other residents in the area of antisocial behaviour late at night?
I haven't got any statistics, but I believe that Diane provided some information around stats within her presentation as well, which may assist.
Okay, that's a question for later then. Okay. Right. You made a very interesting point about the legality of certain electric vehicles and so on and so forth. I've got to say I'm no great expert on this, but certain things we've clarified are illegal, which is scooters. What kind of illegal electric bikes are we talking about?
So some of the delivery companies are a little bit of a blight in Canterbury City generally. Obviously, some of the areas highlighted where obviously these drivers or riders use, there are quite a high number of illegal pedal-assisted bikes. I don't know quite where we are with what type of vehicles are going to deliver for, but some of them obviously do deliver for some of these companies. And the police have had lots of issues, even seizures of some of these vehicles because they just don't comply with the required legislation. So I don't quite know what types of vehicles are going to be used here and how they can wholeheartedly say that it's not going to be those types of riders that we see elsewhere within the city.
Okay, I don't have any more questions. Do my colleagues? Councillor Old?
Thank you, Chair. In your presentation, you said that the current licence is quite old, and although it has staff training, CCTV requirements, a restriction on high-strength ABV sales, and a Challenge 21 policy, the conditions would need to be more robust. Could you just give me an indication of what those sorts of things, more robust conditions would be? Thank you.
So, for example, a refusals log, whilst I believe they do operate one, there's not actually a condition there to say they must hold a refusals log when they're refusing alcohol sales. Challenge 21, ideally it should be 25, that's the industry standard that we use. And just anything else that they can provide that's going to assure us that this model that they propose is going to be able to be reflected within the model that they're proposing. So they have mentioned around the extra 2 staff on duty, but is that just 2 staff, or are we talking about SIA approved staff to manage the later opening hours? It's going to be, I suppose, for them to offer up something a little bit more than what's already in their current licence.
Thanks. Of course, the Challenge 21 or 25 policy is not going to be operated by the store. That's going to be operated by the delivery drivers, isn't it?
Technically, I guess. I don't really know what their agreements are. He mentioned agreements that they've got with these different companies to make sure that they're operating those policies. I would guess we would want to look at those policies that they've got in place.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the opportunity of the applicant to ask questions of the police presentation.
So we have no questions, sir.
No questions. Right. Okay, in that case, we'll go to Diane Attenborough, the enforcement officer.
Thank you, Chair. My report was quite detailed, and so a lot of that is still applicable. And obviously, some of what Danny has said is on mine. So when we spoke to the consultant, when we visited, And I did just ask the consultant about the demand. The consultant advised us that this is common, because he works in London, then this is common for London to do this 24-hour apps. We're not London. London is known to be the city that never sleeps. I hope we do sleep. Obviously, we are aware that this is the third application to extend the hours, and both times the committee refused the applications on the same issues that we have raised this time. And what has changed? In fact, places are busier, the universities are larger. We now have a lot of, in them days we didn't really have the Deliveroo and the Uber Eats, and we get lots of complaints about them. The concerns for public nuisance are great, even though the applicant has advised the deliveries will be made by electric vehicles. I still believe this would be very difficult to enforce and how they would manage this. And in the past, we have had complaints about people hanging around on the corner of Kirby's Lane. We also received complaints about vehicles in Kirby's Lane causing a nuisance. So I think this will increase. We do have licence enforcement have concerns that the store being open after 1 would encourage customers on their way home already having a lot to drink from the late night venues on their way possibly to student accommodation, and it's only down the road from Kent Uni. And they would probably, as you do, once you start drinking, you probably want to drink more. They would hope to purchase more, and we know that persons who've had too much alcohol can be quite volatile, especially if refused. This would put the staff under pressure and possibly in an unsafe situation. This is an area which is close to the university student, predominantly young people, and it is very residential. I believe that this does not promote the licensing objectives and urge the committee to refuse this application on a public nuisance and public safety. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll repeat my question that I put to the police, and I think you've described some of the answer to it already. But so we've heard that there's reports of antisocial behaviour down Kirby's Lane. Do you get reports of similar kind of issues in a wider area along St Dunstan's or Station Road West or North Lane?
Predominantly, it's within the area of Kirby's Lane. We do get Westgate Gardens and round the Tower area, but predominantly, my information, or if we do get reports about antisocial behaviour, and on some occasions it has mentioned around the area of Canterbury Wine Mart and people hanging around, but that's very difficult to prove if they're customers, obviously. Our information on reports goes through to our community safety unit, and if a licensed premises is mentioned, then the community safety unit will come to us, which there was a couple about 3-4 months ago, I believe. I asked the town beat officer, and he said he was going to do more patrols, and also, I believe, from our community safety unit, our environmental crime also get involved and just monitor the area as well.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions there. Councillor Miller?
Briefly, thank you, Chair. It is about this, the number of complaints. We're not seeing any record of the. For instance, you said there have been maybe two complaints in 4 months. is we have no more than that. We have no statistics in terms of what it means to that area. Is that an increase? Is that how many complaints over the 12 months? There's no statistical backup to it. It's a supposition that there's been 2 in 4 months, which I'm showing. Perhaps I'm being a bit too aggressive here, but that does not sound a lot. So I would like some more background and more proof of there is a social problem in this area.
Okay, as I said, I only normally get to know if it's anything that's very much within the vicinity of a licensed premises. I contacted Kent Police as well to get some more information, and they guided me to their website, which is where it just gives you a snapshot, and these were all the reported of antisocial behaviour within the Westgate ward, because you put into that website which ward you wish to, and then you can, I didn't do that and print that off, but you can see, if you look at the map, exactly where each of them are within that area. But yeah, this is just a snapshot of what's been reported.
Okay, Councillor Auld.
Thank you, Chair. We've heard that the responsibility for the age verification, whether it's Challenge 21, Challenge 25, is going to be performed by the delivery driver. Do we have any information on how they're adhering to that? Has there been any, have we done any checks through enforcement or through the police that the delivery drivers are actually carrying out their responsibilities?
We have put conditions in licences about it is down to the DPS to make sure that these delivery companies are adhering to the Challenge 25. I know that, but there is no further information I can give you on that.
Right, thank you very much. This is when the applicant may ask any questions of enforcement.
We don't have, so thank you.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any more questions myself, so that leaves us to just check with Peter. Do you have any more questions? No? Okay. That leaves us with the stage where the applicant agent may sum up your application before we retire to consider it. So your opportunity to sum up.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to be brief, but I do have to cover a few things. Firstly, sir, it's keep coming that this is the third application regarding extending hours. I mean, the last application where we put a similar application, not similar actually, it's a completely different application, was in 2017, some 8 years ago. I really don't know why Canterbury hasn't changed in 80 years. I think it has. The second thing is what we have applied in 2017 and to what we are applying today, this time, is completely different. We are only asking for an additional delivery alcohol system. We are not asking for extending sale of alcohol at the shop for people who walk in. That's the biggest difference in this application, sir. We are not increasing the sale of alcohol timings for people to come in late night when they are drunk from other premises or when they are already drunk from other areas. They can't come into the premises to buy alcohol. So this is a completely different application to whatever that is talking about in 2017 or ever really. The application is very much in line with the council policies. So we are not actually asking to extend your alcohol hours to people who walk in from the street. This is people who from their houses to deliver it to their houses. We are not at all expecting any public nuisance because of the way we are going to operate, because there's not going to be any people who are drunk able to visit the premises or stand outside, drink later. Nothing of that sort. So this is entirely a different application to whatever you have considered before. And this application is a well thought out, absolutely within the licensing objectives, not to affect the licensing objectives. Everything is designed in a way we uphold the licensing objectives. There's a lot of thought being put into this application. We are not responsible for monitoring electric vehicles, whether electric cycles are compliant. That is a police matter, sir. And the police do, I know of, have done a lot of work in, I don't know about Canterbury, but a lot of other boroughs, I know police have done a lot of work in eliminating those cycles that are not legally electrified. So that's the matter that for the police. And you can't expect under the Licensing Act the premises to monitor whether a traffic regulation is upheld or not. That is completely unreasonable. This application is, as I say, we are not increasing the alcohol hours for sale of alcohol for people who walk in. That's completely outside. And we have also demonstrated how diligently our staff every day for the last 8 years since we got that application in 2015 remove high-strength alcohol. It has been tested many times by your officers. They have seen CCTVs of staff removing high-strength alcohol from the shelves diligently every day. Our practices are excellent. They are overseen very well. Even those suggestions made by the licensing officer when she visited the premises, we have done them all. We have put additional locks to the doors. We have removed all the alcohol from you would have seen this morning. We have any reasonable suggestion made by police or licensing officers immediately acted upon. We have had no complaints received about the premises, at least in the last 5 years, nothing at all. So we've been running a very tight shop, and we will continue to do that, sir. And what we have offered in the application as mitigation for any eventualities are more than adequate. And on that basis, we hope you will see the sense in this application and grant this, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your summing up. And this is the point at which we'll retire to consider the application. So I think we might be... Okay, I think we'll come back in half an hour, which is roughly speaking 12:25. Okay, thank you. Okay, welcome back. The committee's got a number of questions it wishes to raise before we come to a decision. We are very concerned. We're talking about 24-hour delivery of alcohol in this particular application, and we're very concerned in a number of aspects about the delivery model, because you're proposing a fairly new delivery model for this area. I accept the fact that some service stations have been undertaking a delivery model too. But we are concerned about the issue of the responsibility for ensuring Challenge 21 or Challenge 25 is being undertaken, and whether that's actually being undertaken in a rigorous way. We're certainly concerned about ensuring that that is being undertaken. And what we're clear about is that the method of delivery here is one where it appears Canterbury Wine Mart would be contracting with a delivery company for them to deliver alcohol that has been ordered through the delivery company. We're concerned about how our checks and balances can be upheld and maintained within that kind of system. So we've got some very specific questions about that, which we'd like to ask of the applicant, etc. And I'm going to ask our legal advisor to put those questions to you.
So it may help to turn to page 33, which has the part of the application, section 16 of 18.
Page 33.
Page 33.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have delivery specific conditions, and down the left-hand side, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
And 4 refers to the fact that the premises license holder would have a contract in place with the delivery company to cover A, B, and C. And B is that the person making the delivery has a book or a record, which can be electronic, in which they record the date, time, and circumstances under which a challenge is made under Challenge 25. And then at 5, you offer a condition that the contract with the delivery company should be kept on the premises for inspection. So, taking a step back, if this were a sale in the shop, you might keep a Challenge 25 record in some cases.
If you are refused or something.
And a refusals book.
Yeah.
And the conditions about those would say that the licensing officer or the police can inspect those at any time.
Sure.
So the committee are wondering, can there be a condition that the premises license holder has themselves a copy of the Challenge 25 record made by the delivery company and a refusal log made by the delivery company, that the premises license holder keeps those records at the store for inspection at any time by the police or Canterbury City Council licensing enforcement?
Absolutely, sir. Yeah, that's certainly will happen.
Could you provide some wording to cover that?
Okay. Sure. I'll write it down, and I have to sort of think about how to get that. But so the way that you explained, I'm more than happy with that. So that for the operate the premises to keep records of all delivery refusals at the premises and available to officers to inspect, or anything in similar lines.
And of the performance of the Challenge 25
Yeah, sure.
exercise.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can assure that the delivery company, Uber or Deliveroo, will provide them to you and you will keep them for the police or Canterbury City Council licensing to inspect.
Yeah, sure. Sir.
And do you want 2 or 3 minutes to write something down?
In the line that we talked about, I am happy for a condition.
All right, so something can be put on that. Could I then also ask, still on page 33, at the bottom, prevention of crime and disorder,
Yes.
the alcohol displayed during current hours 6 till 1 and 6 till midnight, is that correct, 0600, in both cases, bottom one but last line of page 33? Or is it 6:30?
It's 6:30. Yes, and the opening hours are 6:30. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
And then during your representations, you have mentioned, you've said words to the effect that all the areas with alcohol will have a pull-down shutter to completely cover them and be lockable
Yes.
unless they're electrical,
Yes.
lockable with a padlock.
Yes.
And I think you also said, and this will be done to the satisfaction of the licensing officer and the police
Yes.
before
Before we start operating.
before starting to act under a varied premises
Well,
license.
I mean, that only needed if we are doing delivery after 1 o'clock in the night, because 6:30 to 1 o'clock, if we are delivering in the normal hours, that condition wouldn't apply. We don't need the shutters.
Yes, but I suppose I'm referring to the fact that both the council and the police have to be satisfied
Yes.
that you have put that the actual shutters and locks are acceptable.
Yes, before any deliveries outside the current opening hours.
Before that aspect of the varied license comes into operation.
That's correct.
And can you offer any
But there
wording
is
on that?
There is an element on there's a slight difference on that. So if we are not opening the shop after 1 o'clock for public, then we can deliver without the shutters because no public is coming in.
Right, so it's
But if we are going to open the shop after 1 o'clock for public without alcohol, then we must have the shutters in. And that has to be to the satisfaction of the officers.
right, but I'm referring to a situation like sometimes there's a condition that CCTV shall be positioned in 4 places to the satisfaction of the licensing officer before sales take place in reliance on the premises license. So I'm speaking about an initial confirmation,
Yeah.
approval,
Yes.
written approval
Yes.
from the licensing officer, the licensing enforcement officer, that they are satisfied that the shutters properly cover and are properly lockable.
Yeah.
And that's a one-off at the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied? Do you accept that?
So, yeah, I accept that as on principle that before we start opening the premises, if the application is granted as we have applied for, then obviously that condition comes into place. But if we decide not to open the shop after 1 o'clock to public and won't do deliveries, then we don't need the shutters.
So if the license variation were granted today, some work would need to be done to install shutters.
That's correct.
Let's say that work took a month. And after a month, you believe it's all ready.
Yeah.
and in place. At that point, you invite the licensing officer to come and inspect.
Yes.
And they say yes or no. And if they say yes, they put it in writing.
Yeah.
And you know that the shutters and locks are satisfactory.
That is correct.
And you use them if the shop's open.
And only after
During
then,
those hours,
only
yes.
after that event we can start delivery during the hours where public is allowed in the shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chair, I just wonder if the responsible authorities might want to comment on what's been the 3 points that have been discussed.
Yes, that's a very good point. So, okay, over these particular points about wording of possible conditions, do responsible authorities wish to put some points?
I would just like to sort of say I don't see how it would be certainly the police's responsibility to check whether the shutters and the locking system is adequate. I'm not an expert in that type of thing, and I don't think that would be for us to make sure that their shop conforms to that. That would be down to them and their responsibility to make sure it's adequate. For us to then say, yes, it is, I don't think the responsibility should be for us to make that decision. And just on the other point, I still can't quite get my head round. I would like to see a policy that they have in place with the delivery companies where we can be assured that the checking that we would be then looking at is correct and proper as per what Uber Eats would agree to. Whether or not the gentleman here is agreeing that that's what he's going to agree with them, I would prefer to see what the actual policy is that says that they expect their delivery drivers on their behalf to be challenging 25 when they deliver that item. I haven't seen a policy that has that agreement that that's going to be in place. That would just be my only concern is that the burden of proof for them to be able to pass that responsibility on to a third party and how we then see what that policy is that they have in place. It's quite easy, isn't it, in a shop normally, because it's challenge 25, 21, they either refuse or deny and they would write that and document that down. But to pass that responsibility on to that delivery company, how do we know that that agreement between those companies is in place and what that policy looks like? That's just my only concern.
Okay, thank you for
Through you,
that.
Chair. This is these companies operate nationally. Not just in Canterbury. They are operating all of England and Wales and under this legislation. And we are not transferring our responsibility to anybody. The responsibility of underage sales stays with the license holder. So if at all an incident happens and the delivery driver hands over to an underage person, and if there is a complaint, and if that is proven, the responsibility still lies with the license holder, not with the delivery company. The license holder and the delivery company can have a civil issue, but from the council criminal point of view, it is the license holder who is responsible. So may I? So
Okay,
may I
we-
raise another issue
we-
with you?
Sorry.
May I raise another issue with you, sir, while we are here? I mean, we have already discussed that there is already a premises offering 24-hour service licensed by this authority in Canterbury. So they must have approved all these. The police and the licensing authority must have already seen.
I'm
and
not sure,
approved
but I
this.
can see you're struggling with the sunlight. Do you want to move round the corner there, and then you might.
Maybe I should go back there.
Yeah, go back there, and then. You'll need to turn that microphone off to turn that one on. Okay. Hopefully that's a bit more comfortable. You might need to put the microphone up a little bit. That's it. Whoop. No.
Try the other one. Try the other one.
That's all right.
We don't charge very much though. Oh, no, you're there. You're there. You got it. You've got.
Okay, go.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I was just highlighting that there is already a premises in Canterbury licensed by the Canterbury Council, offers 24-hour delivery. And to our knowledge that they do minimum 20-25 orders a night. So that must have been approved by the police and the licensing authority. And these companies operate nationally and they have agreed procedures. All the police authorities accept and the councils accept their operations. But we are more than happy to take these additional conditions, sir.
Okay, thank you for that.
I just don't want my client to be expected a higher standard than anybody else operates.
Okay. I'm going to ask our enforcement officer if she wants to make any further points on the discussion so far.
Okay, so in regards to the comment just made, when it was raised that apparently there is a petrol station, fuel station doing deliveries. Deliveries is something fairly new after COVID really, when it all took off. We haven't been approached by any of these. They've got a 24-hour licence. Guidance does say that if someone wants to do deliveries, they should contact the licensing authority to explain how they're going to manage this. It's not in law that apparently that they have to, but we are not actually aware. So we have not put anything, we've not done any conditions because this has just come to light. And I think Brian has been liaising with them to try and find some more information out. So that's in relation to that. As to myself going out checking whether I believe a lock is adequate, I'm not an expert. It is only for myself to enforce any conditions that are and that they are abiding by their licence, not for me to say, yeah, that's okay. I am a little bit confused by a couple of things. One was this thing, I think he mentioned that if they're not open to the public after 1 o'clock and they decide not to open, are they still going to be doing deliveries? And does that mean that, I think it was mentioned that they wouldn't lock the alcohol away, because it's surely the condition should be after 1 o'clock all alcohol will be locked away and not on display. But if they're not open after 1 to the public but are still doing deliveries, then maybe they can have it unlocked. I find it all very confusing, and we are obviously this is pretty new to our district. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does, and that was a question I was going to put myself because, it is a question. We heard you say that you might not open after 1 o'clock, and that would be okay. That would be a change of circumstance. But
Sir.
if you're still doing deliveries after 1 o'clock,
Sorry, sir. That
how-
may I,
how
if,
does that work?
if I may clarify why I said that. As your solicitor correctly said, for us to install all these shutters, it might take some time. During that time, if we want to do deliveries, obviously between 6:30 and 1 o'clock when we are open, we can do deliveries without installing the shutters because the premises is open, public are allowed in, we have license to sell alcohol to public or members of public who walks in, and while we are doing deliveries. But however, after 1 o'clock, if we want to do deliveries, but we haven't got the shutters in yet, we had to close the shop because we can't allow public to come in. That's why I said that we may close the premises during that time while we are doing the works, so that no public can come after 1 o'clock, as it will be exactly like current use, but we will be able to do deliveries if you decide to grant this application. That's the only comment I made. It's not that so once the shutters are in, and if the officers are satisfied the way the shutters operate, then obviously we don't need to close the shop after 1.
Okay. Yeah, right. I understand your meaning. Of course, there's a bit an issue about, well, how does the delivery driver take the delivery from the shop if the shop is shut? So that's something we might come back to. Okay. Another question, and we're probably going to take a few minutes to actually go and retire and come back and explain a decision. But the question is, currently, for example, currently, are there any deliveries taking place during your current licensing hours? Are you using Uber and so on at the moment?
No, sir. We completely abide by the statutory guidance. The guidance say before, even though we have an off license, according to law, we can do deliveries. But the guidance says that before you do deliveries, please inform the licensing authority. And this is the process that we are doing that. So we currently don't do that.
Okay, so basically, you'd only do the delivery aspect of things when the licensing authority is satisfied that you've put in place all the things that we would require of you, yes?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, all right.
But for us to just to be clear, for us to do deliveries within the current licensed hours, we only have to inform the council.
Yes. Yes, okay.
which we are doing as part of this application.
Okay, okay. Okay. With the taking account of the condition that we're considering at the moment, that the effect of that condition would be that we would expect to see records of challenge 25 and refusals, etc., across the whole 24-hour period. So it doesn't just apply to 1 o'clock to 6:30. But if you're doing deliveries during the daytime hours, the same condition around requiring delivery companies to give you the records and proof of challenge 25 and refusals would be expected.
Yeah, we understand. So all deliveries that we make, we must keep records of challenge 25 and refusals at any time. All deliveries, what we do.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that we agree.
Okay, we're going to take just 10 minutes to tighten up what we're going to propose in terms of a decision and conditions. Okay. Okay. I think you can probably tell from the amount of time that we've been spending on this that this application has raised a lot of concerns and challenges for us. It's certainly something, generally speaking, new for this committee to look at in terms of 24-hour sales. And that is something that is of some concern to us. Nevertheless, having considered everything and asked all the questions that we needed to ask, we are minded to fundamentally grant the application for a variation to your existing licence, subject to additional conditions which we have had some discussion about and to which you appear to be agreeable. Those conditions are certainly meant to guarantee that something that we ordinarily expect of all premises licence holders to apply in terms of the sale of alcohol within store, within the shop, is also applied by delivery companies, because what we're very clear about is that this is a new system of sales of alcohol, of which there is an essential component, which is the delivery companies. Now, we're not actually providing a license to the delivery companies here, we're providing a license to the store owner, and therefore it quite clearly is the store owner's responsibility to ensure that the delivery companies uphold the expectations that the licensing authority has. And that is why we're going to have a general condition that our expectations of the delivery companies are in respect of Challenge 25, which is slightly different from your existing condition about Challenge 21. But we would expect, if you're going to be delivering, that the delivery companies actually apply Challenge 25 and that they keep the same kinds of records and so on, which would be copied to you and provided to you in store so that they're available for inspection by the police and the enforcement officer. It is the only way in which we can be assured that delivery companies are actually prepared to undertake it in a responsible manner, because you're the applicant, we're giving you the licence, and our expectation will be on you to make sure the delivery companies are abiding by that. If they're not, then of course there could be a review of this particular granting of this extension to your variation to your licence. So that's very clear. We've got a couple of other conditions which are in respect of the locking of alcohol and so on. But generally speaking, I'm going to say that we find ourselves in this position that is unusual for us, and having taken and considered it and having considered the legal aspects of it, we're prepared to actually grant this license, this variation to your license with those conditions and with that understanding. One of the conditions in your existing license does actually specify having a clear notice, which we've seen, displayed at your premises requesting customers to be mindful of residents. Whilst I can't change your the wording of that easily, it would also be our expectation that you are very clear with delivery drivers that they are equally mindful of the residents in the area, and in respect of any rubbish or anything like that, so delivery drivers are equally mindful, not just customers, of there being residents in the area. So given those caveats, I'm going to ask our legal officer to actually summarise decision and the conditions that we intend to make to that variation.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a variation application, and the licensing subcommittee have taken account of the licensing officer's report, which contains the application, the current premises licence, and the blue notice, the newspaper notice, and representations made by responsible authorities, Kent Police and Canterbury City Council in its role as responsible authority. The licensing subcommittee have also taken account of oral representations made today by all the parties and of the 2003 Act, particularly sections 34 to 36, the latest section 182 guidance, which has been referred to and does deal partly with delivery, the Council's own statement of licensing policy, which doesn't deal with this, Section 17 of the Crime and Disorder Act, and the Public Sector Equality Duty under the Equality Act 2010. The conditions offered in respect of the application to vary, which, as the Chair has said, has been granted in principle, those conditions are set out on page 33 of the report. And they, for example, refer to a cabinet kept locked at all times. They are varied to cover the points that have been recently aired before the licensing subcommittee, and there will be a condition in relation to delivery that for the full 24-hour-a-day period of delivery, the premises licence holder shall require the delivery company to provide to the premises licence holder a record of refusals and challenge 25 checks that have been made. Those records are to be kept at the premises licence premises for inspection on demand by the police and or the Canterbury City Council licensing enforcement officer. Then in relation to the display of alcohol, the conditions offered refer to alcohol being locked away between 1 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., a slightly different time on Sunday. And during this time, the condition is that there shall be an installation of a shutter which completely conceals the alcohol, that is lockable, and that before the shop can be opened between these hours, there shall have been written confirmation by the licensing officer at the council confirming that they've observed shutters which perform their task, which is to cover all alcohol and be lockable. Until they have been installed, the shop cannot be open to the public between 1 and 6:30 a.m. With regards to the mode of delivery, it shall only be electric vehicles after 11 p.m. until 6:30 in the morning. I think that covers the conditions, and I will produce a decision letter which amends page 33, those conditions to deal with the specific matters I've mentioned. There's two further things. There's a right of appeal under section 181 and schedule 5.2, the 2003 Act, which I have to mention. And if you could just bear with me a moment, I just need to check, I don't know if the agent can assist, section 36.3 of the Licensing Act requires us to specify a time. So sorry, Chair. Yes, so there'll be a decision letter, which is the notice of the decision which has been announced. The notice must specify the time when the variation in question takes effect. That time is the time specified in the application, or if that time is before the applicant is given that notice, such later time as the relevant licensing authority specifies in the notice. So I think it's likely that the specified time that the variation takes effect will be, for example, 8 p.m. on the day that the decision letter is sent to the agent, if that's acceptable. Yeah, thank you. I think that concludes matters, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Key. So, well, that concludes our decision making, and you will get the specific wording to the variation sent to you. And I'd like to thank everybody, for the applicants for putting the application, and the responsible authorities for raising their concerns, which I'm sure you've understood as well in terms of this. We hope this works well. We know it's going to be something new, and we hope it will work well in terms of ensuring the highest principles of responsible drinking.